Hey everybody, I'm going to get into another setup here. It's a shorting setup. It's This is number 3 in the series of best stock trading setups. This is how to short stocks safely. A lot of people get caught on the front side of the move, and what the front side means, if you ever hear that term, is this. The initial run up before it breaks this and proves weakness. Some people will call this the backside as well, but it can continue higher. But as soon as it breaks the VWAP, this is considered the backside. So one of the reasons why a lot of people like shorting opposed to longing is because to catch this initial run up it can be hard because you need to really find a bunch of different entries and it can go against you quite quickly, especially playing low float stocks. So shorting, it can be easier. Maybe I shouldn't really quite use those words. That's not exactly the right word, but it can be a little easier because you can really watch, let this stock develop, get to know the ticker because all stock tickers have, their own personality, okay? And you get to know the price action, if it's manipulated or anything else. So that's why a lot of traders go to the short side. I do prefer shorting as well. I just find right now that a lot of stocks are kind of, when they should be on the backside of the move, they seem to pop back up. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of time. Today would have been a really good day to be shorting. Don't get me wrong. The market did have a pullback, and that's always the easiest way to short sell stocks, is wait for a market pullback. But anyways, we'll get into the actual setup here. Okay, so you're going to watch this original run up. You're going to see it top out. Now, you see where it's topping out here. It's topping out around a whole number, okay, or a whole and half dollar. And you also see this candle here. This is a good indication that the sellers are now in charge. People are selling, okay? They're taking profits. You see these volume candles. They're getting a lot bigger with the selling pressure. So that's indicating not necessarily just profit taking, but actual selling of the stocks that people own. So once you see it kind of dip back, it tries to make another run up, very failed attempt, and then you see this big dump candle here. Now it stops out right on this 1423, 1425 area. Now if you look left here, you see this flat top. This was a flat top breakout. There's lots of buyers in this area. So if this level breaks, there is going to be a lot of selling pressure. This will definitely pull back if this area breaks. Now this line right here, the VWAP, this is very crucial and very important in short selling, because this line, basically, just to boil it down in the simplest of terms, once it gets below, the stock gets below this line, people are now underwater. They are going to sell this stock. It is extremely bearish and people are going to start selling out. So you can get an order ready. Again, I love using the stop limit orders. You set that line. Once this line in the sand kind of breaks, it'll get you in. And I've went over that in other videos. I'm not going to do that here. So as soon as it breaks this, you know that there's a pretty good chance. You should always wait until the VWAP breaks. But with this kind of a setup, you're going to be pretty certain that it's going to dump through VWAP. So you want to get a good entry. Entries are everything in trading. So it breaks the VWAP and it dumps and then it reclaims. Now you see these little areas here where it pulls back to VWAP. A lot of new traders that try to get into short selling, they'll get scared out of this because they think it's about to move back against them. Relax. This is what they do. This is a textbook short sell right here. This is what they do. As soon as they dump VWAP, they will try and reclaim, because people are trying to get back into, they think it's just a dip. So you're going to have some of these shorts covering as well as dip buyers coming in. Once it fails VWAP again, once, twice, that's it. They usually just kind of touch VWAP and then dump. But the initial break, it can be a little sketchy. It likes to float around VWAP for a little bit and then continue like it did here. So do not get scared out of this, because that's going to cause buying, because you sell initially and then buy your shares back that you borrowed. So if you start getting all freaked out, it's going to fuck up the price action. If you get a bunch of new traders in this that get freaked out that it's going to go against them, you got to give stocks time, and you need to have a plan. So even if it reclaimed VWAP, don't get all freaked out. This would be your stop up here, somewhere in that area. That's you always have to set your risk to reward. Okay, you can let stocks go against you a little bit. There's no reason to sell instantly because it touched your buy-in mark. Okay, there's going to be losses. Fucking get over it. So it's going to touch once or twice and then dump. Now, the trade for this is, a lot of people use the 9 EMA. I find on names that are low float, these 9 EMAs, I don't know, I don't find that they work very well. I find VWAP still works on pretty much no matter what type of stock you're in. So that's really what I go by. So the trade would be, you want to sell into you want to take profits or cover into any big dumps. And then this is a little more of an advanced technique. Once it climbs back a little bit, you could short some more. Yes, it'll fuck up your average a little bit, but this is adding to winners. That's what trading is about. You always want to add to winners. So you could add a few more shares. Once it dumps here, let's say you sell a quarter or half, you can add another quarter back in. If you don't want to go quite back up to full size, you just want to let the trade unfold, that's fine. But on these big candles, you're going to want to pay yourself along the way, okay? You always want to pay yourself. And don't be getting freaked out here. I'll show you over here where you would want to completely get sold right out of this. Now, once you see it pull in a lower high right here, just get out. It's not worth it, okay? Now, you see that it puts in that lower high here. Just get out. It's not worth it. You can always reshort it. And this is a good area to reshort. You could look for a scalp move at the end of the day. Right? I mean, you're not going to get much. Actually, on this stock, it was quite a bit. It was still 70 cents. See how it failed on VWAP here? It touched it and then failed. So once you see it touch and then fail, you could short it again. And then right on this big dump candle here, cover into that and be done with it. So there's lots of opportunities on this particular stock to learn how to short, and how to short properly and safely, because a lot of people get tied up and they get caught up. I've been caught up in shorting too, but I always cover it high of day break. A lot of people, they don't for some reason. They're going to fight it. You can always reshort the fucking thing. Don't get stubborn. That's definitely a big lesson in trading, is your stubbornness and your ego. Do not get stubborn. Do not let your ego take control. You play the chart and the chart only. The market is always right. I know that's a cliche at this point, but it's so true. The market's right. And that's it. You can't argue with the market. It's going to do what it's going to do. The market is a very, it can be predictable, but it's highly irrational at the same time. You get millions of people in a trade like this, and there's money involved. Jesus, think about that, right? Think about that for a second. That like the psychology of trading, that's what you really need to start getting into as a new trader. I know we're kind of off on a tangent here, but trading psychology is huge. Because what drives most human beings to be irrational and make rash decisions and snap judgments is money. Money, 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 money. So you get millions or thousands or whatever number you want to use of traders, basically a collective group of people and their money thrown into a pot where they could quickly press buttons. Half of them don't know what the fuck they're doing. So that's why these stocks can move against you, and news doesn't matter so much. And so that's kind of a little lesson, I guess, on short selling and a little bit into trading psychology. I hope this helps. I love shorting, and I'm just giving the market a little bit of time here, because there's always small trends inside of your big trend. Um, Shorting seems to be working for the past couple of few days, but so it's definitely time to switch biases. But we'll kind of see how it goes. I really want the market to sell off before I get back into shorting, because I got roped in and taken for a ride there. It wasn't a huge loss or anything, but it was enough to fuck my head up and make me think a little bit. Um, I became stubborn and let my ego take control. So that's all I really have to say about shorting right now. I know there's going to be a lot of questions about shorting, so don't hesitate. Ask. I have quite a bit of experience shorting. I am a short bias trader. I just so happen to be longing stocks lately. But I go both ways, and you have to, as a trader, you need to adapt or you will die. So that's all I want to say. I hope this helps you guys out. Any questions, leave a comment below and like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.